The following is a community affairs presentation from the Ulster County Health Department. This is the Healthy Ulster Radio Show, a weekly presentation exploring community health and sustainability with guests representing a broad spectrum of community partners working to make Ulster County the healthiest in New York State. This program is sponsored by the Health Alliance of the Hudson Valley in Kingston, a member of the WMC Health Network.
Good morning. You are listening to Healthy Ulster Radio. I am your co-host, Dr. Carol Smith, Ulster County Commissioner of Health and Mental Health. Joining me today is my co-host, our Director of Community Health Relations, Vin Martello. Good morning, Vin.
Good morning, Dr. Smith. As you know, we talk to individuals representing a wide array of organizations across the community that deal with various aspects of community wellness and well-being. And today's topic is energy-efficient homes. And as we'll learn, energy-efficient homes are not only more affordable, they help protect the environment too and help mitigate climate change. And we know that there are many public health challenges associated with climate change, including communicable disease, respiratory problems, natural disasters, and many others. So I think today's topic will be very informative and very timely.
Today our guest is Michael Courtney. Michael is Outreach Coordinator with RUPCO, the Rural Ulster Preservation Company's Green Jobs, Green New York program. Good morning, Michael.
Good morning.
As Vin mentioned, safe, affordable housing and energy-efficient housing is the foundation for living a healthy life. Michael, can you tell us a little bit more about the role of RUPCO in creating and maintaining affordable housing and something about how energy efficiency fits into affordable housing?
Sure. RUPCO's mission is to create homes, support people, and improve communities. So a lot of people are familiar with RUPCO's programs like our first-time homebuyers program, our housing choice voucher, sometimes referred to as rental assistance, or Section 8, our home repair program, our foreclosure prevention program, and many others that we do. But today I'm talking about energy costs in the home. Energy costs are a significant part of the cost of owning a home. People sometimes are choosing between which bill to pay for groceries, health cost, or paying their utility bills. So this is one way we help people lower their utility bills to make their homes more affordable. It's also about having a decent level of comfort and safety. People shouldn't have to be cold to save for other necessities. They also want to make sure that their heating systems are functioning safely. We don't want carbon monoxide or gas leaks, or we want to make sure we prevent and deal with mold and moisture issues in the home.
And Michael, when people upgrade their homes for energy efficiency, what does that usually involve? And what sorts of things are contractors doing in the homes when they come out?
So the biggest cost in terms of energy in most homes in New York is going to be heating. So typically the biggest thing they're going to be looking at is where can you save the most money. So we're looking particularly often at air sealing and insulation. Where do we have opportunities to stop wasting heat from leaking out of the house towards the attic and stopping cold air from coming in, and while also at the same time addressing those mold, moisture or air quality issues. So insulation, air sealing, we're also talking about. Other things could be heating, or like I said, if there's an air quality or moisture issue, those are really important to look at as well.
Michael, can you tell us a little bit about the NYSERDA program itself and how people get started and what the process involves?
Sure. So NYSERDA has a program called Home Performance with Energy Star. And the fundamental component of that program is a free home energy assessment is how it starts. 92% of New Yorkers qualify for a free assessment. In Ulster County, for example, if you make less than a household income less than $142,600, then you qualify for the home energy assessment. It's about a $500 value to get the assessment. And there's a lot of things that the home performance contractors, I'm going to talk a little bit later about the home performance contractors, and they really look at your house as a system. They're taking a whole house approach as to, how one thing might affect another in the home. So it's, looking at air sealing and insulation. They're going to look at your heating system for efficiency, your hot water system. They'll look at your appliances, your lighting. They're going to look at the air quality and moisture issues.
The CDC and HUD also have an online tool for individuals to assess their home for its energy efficiency and health and safety aspects. So for those who may not qualify for this free program or who wish to at least start it on their own, they can go, and it's a checkoff system so that you look at essentially some of the same things you just mentioned, but also consider other things such as the presence of mold and other allergens in the house. So either your program, or certainly by doing it yourself, you'll get a better measure of how healthy your home is and how energy efficient your home is or potentially could be.
So, Michael, if people are interested in applying for a free home energy assessment, how do they identify who the contractors are, and how do they know who to choose and what that person might be doing in the home when they come out?
Right. So the first thing is to apply for the audit through NYSERDA, and you can contact us at RUPCO. 331-2140 is our number at RUPCO to get started, or go to our website, which is all one word, www.saveenergyhudsonvalley.org, and that'll walk you through the process. But you were asking in particular, how do I choose a contractor? How do I find out about the contractors? NYSERDA's website, one way you can do that is on NYSERDA's website. They have a web page where you enter in your zip code, and it will give you a listing of all the contractors in the home performance program that are local to you, and it gives a nice description of each one. I can also mail a list to folks. If you get in touch with us at RUPCO, we'll send you a list. We also have a contractor selection guide. It's a one-page sheet on, some of the questions that you would want to ask contractors. Things that are important to ask are, how soon are you available? And in particular, I advise people to talk about what are the primary things you're interested in your home? Like if you have a heating system that, you can tell it's crashing and you need a new heating system, then you don't necessarily want to pick somebody whose entire focus is on insulation and air sealing, and they don't really have any experience in heating. All the contractors do that work, but some of them subcontract it out, and that often works well. But often it's good to just make a good match with your contractor, and ask them what are their specialties and things like that, so that they're a good match for your project.
Just out of curiosity, for our listeners' benefit, how is NYSERDA funded, and how did it come into being, and why does the government, whoever funds it, why do they do that?
Right. So we actually have a contract with, as RUPCO, we have a contract with NYSERDA to do outreach, and it's under something called the Green Jobs, Green New York program. The legislature passed the program in 2009, and our program started in 2011. It's funded under a couple of different ways. One is the Regional Greenhouse Gas Initiative, which is a regional program in the Northeast that mandates sort of a system of trading credits to reduce carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases. And then also people pay something on their utility bill called a systems benefits charge. It's usually about $2 a month or so. But the idea is NYSERDA and the state want to invest in energy efficiency at the user level, at the homeowner level, so that we don't have to build as many power plants. That's less pollution in the air, improves air quality and health for everybody. So really, it's we have to reduce at every opportunity that we have to reduce energy usage. So home energy usage is a big part of that.
And so when the contractors come out to do the assessment, is that the same person that does the work, or does the homeowner have the option of doing it themselves, or how does that process work?
That's a good question. We recommend that, if possible, that the same contractor who did the home energy assessment, if possible, you should go with them to complete any work that you choose to do. There's no obligation. When you complete the assessment, you'll get a report with recommendations. You can do none of it, you can do some of it, or you can do all of it. But because that contractor did the full assessment and looked at all the different parts of your home, they know where to find the issues that they're going to, or find the problems they're going to solve. If you would like to go to a different contractor, though, that is possible to do.
Are they familiar with the NYSERDA credits, or however that reimbursement program works? And are there also state and federal tax credits available to people in these things?
Well, you need to use a home performance contractor if you want to use the NYSERDA benefits. So some of the things that NYSERDA provides are, for example, there are some income-based incentives. One is the Assisted Home Performance with Energy Star subsidy. And that provides a 50% subsidy toward the cost of installation, up to a total grant of $5,000. And that's going to go down to $4,000 coming up on October 1st. So that's one benefit. And you need to be under 80% of the median income in order to qualify for that program.
And does the homeowner lay out the money first and then get reimbursed, or how does that work?
NYSERDA also provides a low interest loan so that you don't have to up front put out a big chunk of cash. But the great thing about it is the savings that you're going to get from the project is going to pay for that loan. In fact, one of the ways that you can pay for it is through something called on-bill loan recovery, where you can put the payments toward that loan directly on your Central Hudson or a major utility bill. So your savings directly offsets the cost. And usually, in fact, you have to at least break even, but usually people are coming out ahead where your savings is greater than the cost of your loan. So you can do this with no money down and still come out ahead on the project. And one of the great things about the loan too is it doesn't hurt your credit because it's being backed by your energy savings.
Got it. And I guess that's kind of the solar panel kind of model, right? That the various like Solar City and the rest of them are using, which is basically recovery on your bill that goes into paying for the system over time.
Right. That's the idea of how this works. You invest in energy efficiency, and then so say you invest $5,000 and you're going to save $1,000 a year. Just for example, it would take 5 years to pay that off. So yeah, very similar to what people are familiar with solar. I will say people should do the energy efficiency audit first if they can. We have a motto of reduce, then produce energy. Reduce your energy usage and then produce the renewable energy after that.
Perfect. Well, we'd like to get more details right after this short break. You're listening to Healthy Ulster Radio. We'll be back soon.
The excitement continues to build. The mission of Health Alliance is now made even stronger by our new partnership with the Westchester Medical Center Health Network. By combining a legacy of community-based care with WMC Health, we are building a stronger, healthier, and more vibrant community. We'll be collaborating to provide preventive, primary, specialty, and advanced care right here where you live, where we all live. Health Alliance and WMC Health, advancing care here. Visit HAHV.org to learn more.
Back, you are listening to Healthy Ulster Radio. Today our guest is Michael Courtney. Michael is an outreach coordinator with RUPCO, and he's a certified building analyst through the Building Performance Institute. Michael designed and built his own home, which is gold level certified under the National Association of Home Builders Green Building Program. Michael, could you tell us a little bit more about what goes into gold level certification, or how does that work?
Sure. So when we got into this process of my wife and I say we decided to general contract our own home and worked with a modular builder who let us do that. And basically there's there's a rating system if you want to get a green certification. There's several different green certification programs for homes, but there's different categories like energy efficiency, use of green building materials, and use of efficient materials, and environmentally friendly in terms of low chemical usage, proximity to like being able to be walking distance to a bus stop, walking distance to town and other services. There was a lot of things that went into it. Rainwater runoff systems and having permeable sidewalks and things like that. So all around the home, you're looking at all the different systems that a home affects, and basically you have to score a certain level in each category. And then basically there's and it kind of paid for itself to do the rating. There was about a $5,000 tax benefit, which we thought like, oh cool, we get a $5,000 tax benefit. Basically we put most of that into the rating itself. But what was really great about it was having a professional rater who not only did the rating, but helped guide the design process. When we had questions, our rater was there to say, well, here's how you want to do this part of it so that it all works together, and give you the most cost-effective ways to do it and things like that. And it's made for a very energy efficient home. We use about a third of the energy of an average home, and I'm working on getting solar panels in pretty soon too, so that'll add to it. And it's a very comfortable, very satisfying home to be in.
So that kind of leads up to the question where the individual homeowner, such as myself, want to do projects around the house to upgrade the efficiency of my home. Are there courses that you take to do this? Or I'm sure there's tons of online information, but are there ways to maybe take advantage of some of the incentives and do the work and learn about it at the same time so that you can gradually upgrade the efficiency of your home? Or do you always have to go out to so-called experts out there?
There's certainly a lot of things online that you can do if you want to, for the do-it-yourselfer, if you don't want to go out to experts. But one of the things I think, though, too, is the home energy assessment we've been talking about with NYSERDA. It's really a participatory process on the homeowner's end. Even though you're going to an expert, you learn a great deal about your house because, they're going to run through every component of your home and they're going to talk to you about it. And you can be there during the assessment and follow them around and see, and they'll explain to you like, oh, look at this. There's something going on here. This is something in your attic you should address. You learn a lot about the systems in your house. And then a lot of times, like I said, with the home energy audit recommendations, some of the things you absolutely should have done by a professional because you want those things to be done right, like spray foam or technical types of installation. But there's a lot of things. I remember when I did my first home energy audit on a home I had done on a home in Kingston, there were several recommendations that the contractor was very upfront with me and said, hey, you could do these things yourself. It's not that hard. Certain types of insulation and air sealing, caulking, a lot of those things you can do yourself. One of the greatest resources, the age of the YouTube and being online. YouTube has, pretty much as a homeowner, anything I've ever wanted to figure out, if you type in something on YouTube, how to install whatever, you're going to find at least 5 different videos on how to install it. Yeah.
I'm one of those people who, as many people are in our community, you can't afford to hire somebody to do everything. So you try to do as much as you can, but I also know my limitations and what I don't know, and those kinds of projects where I might be in over my head, where it really makes sense to hire somebody who really does know what they're doing, and then maybe work side by side, or just kind of observe and learn in the process. In terms of, I know a lot of homeowners out there, when they think of energy, they think of leaky and drafty windows. Does the NYSERDA program cover window replacement?
That's a great question, because almost every presentation that I give, somebody says, well, I'm sure I'm going to have to replace my windows, or, what about windows? And windows can be included in the project, but what I will say about windows is they're typically very expensive, and they don't necessarily save a lot if you replace them. I mean, if you have really, really horrible windows and you need to replace them, then maybe. But a lot of times with windows, it's more about sealing the casements and the framing around the windows than it is the windows themselves. There's a lot you can do very cheap to make your windows not so drafty. But if you need to replace windows, if you want new windows, or if you need new windows, then energy efficient windows is definitely a great way to go.
And we know, too, that solar panels are becoming more and more popular, not just here in Ulster County, but all over the nation, all over the world. So if a homeowner is thinking about installing solar panels, what are some of the things that he or she has to think about and cover before making that decision?
Well, like I was saying a little bit earlier about, first thing is, if you haven't done a home energy assessment, do that first to, reduce your usage first, and then look at the solar. But there are a lot of great opportunities for solar right now. And if you contact one of NYSERDA's solar companies, then getting a site assessment is the first thing to start with. And, they'll come out and they'll tell you, a lot of the things that you need to know about putting up solar panels, whether or not you have a roof that's viable in terms of shade and the orientation towards the south. The tilt of your roof, the condition of your roof. You need to have a viable roof to begin with to be able to put the panels on top of it. You don't want any, leakage and moisture issues inside of your roof before you install the panels. You want to make sure those things are all addressed ahead of time. But a lot of things really, it's starting with talking to a couple contractors, having them do the site assessment, and they really will help you carry the ball.
And is it something that's very expensive for the average homeowner to install solar panels? I think you mentioned earlier that there are some payback with savings in utility bills. How are the models structured for installing solar generally?
Right. Generally, it's very similar in terms of, if you don't have a lot of cash to put out up front, there are a lot of different lending options for solar. If you want to own, there's two different ways to install solar. You can, and we're talking about solar electric. People is usually what people mean when they say solar. But usually it's financed either through the company themselves, or they have a lender that the solar panel installer works with. And it's the same kind of thing where the solar panels are going to generate a certain amount of electricity to cover on your bill, and the savings should cover the cost of installing. If it doesn't cover the cost, then it's you don't want to do it. But usually people are paying back a loan on solar in 15 years or less, hopefully coming out ahead. Same thing as the energy efficiency, where you take out a loan, but your savings more than covers the cost of the loan payments. And, one of the things about energy costs is, they're going to go up. So as time goes on, you're going to save more than what initially is projected typically. The other way to install solar is, which a lot of people are taking advantage of, is to lease the solar panels, where essentially the company owns the solar panels on your roof and you pay for the energy that is generated on your roof, just like you would pay your utility company. And after a certain number of years, then you own the panels, or they're returned to the company. And you have an option after that.
Yeah, Ulster County is doing something similar with installing a solar array, a huge solar array to generate. As you might know, Ulster County is one of the few carbon net neutral counties in the United States. So we're pursuing that same exact model, where I believe it is with Solar City, but I may be wrong, but I think it's with Solar City, and they're developing this big array. They're paying for the whole thing. The county's agreeing to buy the energy back at a very discounted rate over a 10-year period. So it really does work out. So these programs are all great. So how do you get the word out? Do you go out and do you do events in the community? Do you have websites and social media? How do you market this?
We love to do presentations with groups, and we really rely on people out in the community. We rely on organizations and groups in the community to help us get the word out. So anybody who wants to have us come and do a presentation, usually takes like 15 minutes or so, plus question and answers. Get in touch with us at RUPCO. Again, the number's 331-2140 to get in touch with us at RUPCO. And just telling friends and neighbors too is a great way for people to share information. Get an energy audit, and then tell your friends and neighbors about the experience that you had. And that's really most of the way that people hear about it, is through somebody else got an energy audit and they say, "Oh, I want to do that too."
That's really terrific. Well, we're about winding down on our time today, and Michael, these are great programs. We know that RUPCO does really terrific work in the community with affordable housing and energy and first-time home buyers assistance, and you guys do terrific work throughout the community. So we really appreciate your being here. We hope you can join us again and update us, and we hope that people do, in fact, go and get their energy assessments and give RUPCO a call. There's really no downside to it. Dr. Smith, thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Michael. You gave tremendous amount of information that's very helpful, and certainly it helps all of us understand a bit better how we can, in the present time and into the future, live a healthier life, protect our environment, and protect our homes, and conserve energy, and all of those good principles to promote the betterment of the health of this community. Thank you very much.
Thank you out there. We're listening to Healthy Ulster Radio. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, or want more information, send us an email to healthyulsterradio@gmail.com. And please join us again next week to learn more about how to keep your community and your family healthy and strong with Healthy Ulster Radio. Thank you.
You've been listening to the Healthy Ulster Radio Show, a community affairs presentation from the Ulster County Health Department, sponsored by Health Alliance of the Hudson Valley in Kingston, a member of the WMC Health Network. Thanks for listening, and be sure to join us for another edition of the Healthy Ulster Radio Show next week.